Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Now, the kids are back at school and the summer holidays are just a distant memory. So I wanted to check in with you all and ask, were your school days the best days of your life, like that old cliche says? Now, I'm going to let you into a little secret. Mine weren't, but much of that was due to my own fault for spending far too much time larking around. And I still remember a school report saying if Neil invested as much time learning and working as he did entertaining the class, he would go far. Well, I showed her, didn't I? I'm now doing both. But seriously though, if I look back, I can see that when I was in school, back in the dark ages, when there wasn't mobile phones or internet, there was only one way to teach. And if that didn't work, you were kind of left to your own devices. But with technology now, teachers have a tool that gives them new ways to stimulate and personalising their teaching to their students in a way best suited to that individual. And this is the point. We are all unique individuals and there isn't a one-size-fits-all. It just doesn't exist. So for this reason, I try to produce content in audio, written and video format because we are all different. So when I heard that my friends at Varsity Tutors were expanding into 30 different countries, I wanted to find out more about how they were adjusting to the evolving needs of their students and the role of technology in everything that they do. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to St. Louis so we can get Kevin back onto the podcast, who is officially friend of the show now. A big warm welcome to the show, Kevin. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Thanks, Neil. It's great to be back on your show again. My name is Kevin Gaugush. I am the Chief People Officer at Varsity Tutors. And first, Varsity Tutors is a live learning platform, a marketplace where we're connecting students with tutors and really even expanding on that. Anyone who has something they want to learn, we're connecting them with the expert that can help them. My role specifically at Varsity Tutors as Chief People Officer is to make sure that our employees have the capabilities, the skills that they need. We have enough employees, enough capacity in the organization, and we're creating the right culture to allow everyone to do what they do best each and every day. So it really goes hand in hand with our mission at Varsity Tutors to help people learn. My role is to make sure all of our employees are continuously getting better and continuously learning.
Excellent. Well, first of all, it's a huge privilege to have you back on the show because I think we last spoke earlier this year and back then you were telling me about the importance of STEM subjects in tech. But I invited you back on today after reading about the updates to instant tutoring that have recently been added to the platform there and how it can actually help parents and kids, especially as they're preparing for midterm exams. So can you tell me a little bit more about instant tutoring and your recent announcements?
Glad to, Neil. So instant has been around for us as a tool for tutoring for about 2 years now. But to your point, we recently added an additional 80 subjects, bringing the total to over 200 subjects that you can access an expert within 15 seconds. Someone will be connected to you using your mobile device or using your computer online to help you with a specific issue or a specific set of questions that you might be having. We added all of the subjects that in middle schools, in high schools in the United States, including the advanced placements in the IB International Baccalaureate courses, all the math, science, languages as well. So we're really able to expand when people are able to access expertise from not only the planned time, the typical maybe Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5 or Tuesday evening from 7 to 9. Now you can access that expert immediately wherever you are.
So we do have people listening of all ages from all over the world. So I just want to bust a few myths here and just determine exactly who actually needs a tutor. And are there any signs of academic distress to look out for?
That's a great question, Neil, and I think there are, but it's important to remember that tutoring is not just for students who are distressed or struggling. Tutoring can be great for students who are looking to advance further in a class or maybe just help them on a specific question. That being said, it is important, though, when students are stressed to realize as a parent that it can cause a change in behavior, perhaps a change in appetite, eating habits. So it's important to be on the lookout for any behavior or change in behavior in your child. When your child is struggling, they may not want to tell you about that. There's this conception or this belief that they should be able to solve it themselves. So you need to make sure you're proactively talking with your child about the classes they're taking, make sure you're informed. And the way I look at tutoring and the services that we can provide to a parent is really as that additional help, that sort of insurance to let your child, to let the student know that it's available, that they can access it when they need it, and not necessarily need to check back in with you as a parent, especially if it's late at night or you're away doing something else, that you're providing that help, that insurance, that security blanket for your child.
And what I particularly love about what you're doing here with instant tutoring is how students can actually log on via a mobile or a desktop and actually be matched with a highly vetted expert in less than 10 seconds. I mean, the logistics and how you achieve that is mind-blowing. But can you tell me a little bit more about the process and how it works?
Sure. Varsity Tutors, we will help parents or help students directly understand how much help they may need in a given semester or a given time frame, and they'll purchase a bundle of hours. Then once you have these hours in your account, launching instant tutoring is as simple as logging in from your laptop or downloading a mobile app, selecting the subject you need, and I guess I'll say it's simple knowing that there's over 200 subjects, finding the right subjects that you need help in, and then you basically say a couple words about what type of help you're looking for so that the tutor can understand the problem you're facing. And then within 15 seconds, you'll be connected. And these sessions can last as long as you need them. It can be as short as 15 minutes, maybe to get you through one problem, one concept, or we've seen people use instant as long as 2 hours if it's a more complicated set of problems that they're trying to face. Tutors are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week through this. And while at certain times it may take a little longer to access that instant help, if it's going to be too long, there's an option for you to be notified when the next tutor is available so that you can continue to work on something else and not feel tethered or tied to waiting for that expert.
Now, there is a great deal of technology available to students now. So can you tell me a little bit more about the tech that you're using and how that enables you to create personalised instruction to accelerate academic achievement? And like you said, in over 200 subjects. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we have 40,000 highly educated experts in our platform. So the taxonomy, the number of subjects that are available continues to expand. And the 200 are only the subjects that are available instant, the more highly demand, the subject that there's a lot of availability for experts. We can help you in many more than the 200 subjects on instant. And the way I look at technology, Neil, is twofold. There's the visible technology that the consumer, the learner, the customer, and the tutor or the expert can see. So that includes our live learning platform where we have the video chat, interactive tools. We're pulling in practice exams or diagnostic testing. We also record this, and that's a really, really huge benefit. And I've heard many stories about students who, after a session, watched it over either later that same day or as they were getting ready for the exam. So all of the technology that's visible makes for a better experience. But there's a what I would call the behind-the-curtain technology as well, and that's the technology that allows us to find the best expert for a given student, that matching technology, the data that we're able to access from the student, as well as the data we're accessing from the tutors. The student, we're getting it from the original sales call or perhaps from other sessions that they've done. So we have a history of what they've been able to accomplish and what works best for them. And of course, our experts, are helping many, many people throughout any given day or any given week. And combining that data provides just a better matching experience. So again, the visible technology through the live learning platform and the recording, and the behind the scenes technology that makes for a better match.
And I think it's important to highlight as well, though, that although we do have these fantastic advances in technology which serve as a fantastic tool, it's the teachers and the tutors who educate and inspire us all. So have you faced any resistance from the industry, from people that think we might be trying to replace them? Or do most people get it now that it is just a tool?
Yeah, Neil, I think that's a great question. And I wouldn't say we see a lot of resistance. I think the teachers and many of our experts, of course, are teachers. And have been tutoring either independently or with other organizations. They see us as a marketplace that's allowed us to expand or grow the pie, sort of grow the size of the audience, the size of the marketplace through our marketing, through targeting. Again, this concept of matching. And because we can have a teacher, an expert, a tutor, say here in St. Louis in the middle of the United States, they can now help a student in Miami or help a student in New York or help a student in London or Singapore, being able to expand their reach. So I think it's given the teachers and the tutors who may have only been able to help people locally in the past, now help people on a global scale. And of course, the tools that we're able to provide, the diagnostic tests, the testing, the learning tools, help as well, and making sure we're getting that best fit. That's part of the value that we're adding as well. Is as I know, I've had great teachers. I've had teachers that were great, but probably weren't right for me. And so we're able to figure out what the best students are, what the best teacher, what the best tutor, what the best expert for that specific student will be.
And I also believe Varsity Tutors now has over 40,000 tutors around the US on almost every imaginable area of expertise, experience and specialisation. So I've got to ask, do you have any success stories with instant tutoring that you can actually share with us today?
Yeah, I've got a couple that really bring a smile to my face, Neil. One, a parent, we'll call her Lisa, called in and was talking about how her daughter had been using us for the SAT, which is the college entrance exam here in the United States. But one night around 11 p.m., her daughter was struggling with the U.S. History Advanced Placement exam or homework, and knew that she had access to Instant, clicked on it, and was able to be helped at 11 p.m. at night, well past the time the parent had gone to sleep, and that tutor stayed with the daughter and was able to get the class grade from a C to a B plus. So that's the prototypical way of using Instant. Sort of late at night, I'm struggling with something. There's no one around to help me. Another great example, a little bit different. Owen, who is studying engineering, mechanical engineering, and as part of that was building a rocket as part of the Rocket Club, and he needed help with a complex concept and was able to access the mechanical engineer through our instant tutoring to help him design sort of that last bit of the rocket and get the help that he needed. One of my daughter's friends, Rucha, is programming in Python and was able to write some code, but it just wasn't working the way she thought it was. And again, she was able to access instant tutoring in Python, computer programming language, and get the help she needed. In the last example, this one again, a different case, at work. A person was writing a narrative, something for work that they needed to hand in a paper, and always good to get a second set of eyes. Accessed instant tutoring, essay side, and got some critique and ways to make that memo, that narrative, a little bit better for work. So you can see the range of how people are using instant, whether it's for a specific class, a project, computer coding, or even writing a paper, is important.
So just to flip everything we're talking about here on its head and back over to you, what are the biggest lessons that you've learned in your time at Varsity Tutors?
Yeah, I think, Neil, the lessons that I take away is, as you think about learning, as you think about always trying to learn more, The easier we are as a company, the easier that Varsity Tutors is able to make it and to give people access, the more people will use it, the more people will learn. So if you're able to come up with different ways of accessing expertise, people are more likely to use it. And that's sort of the corollary to it's no one size fits all. When you're talking about anything, the more variety you can give, the better you are, because some people are going to want to access it in the traditional way. That's the scheduled sessions every week or twice a week. And some people may want to access it in a different way. And we have to continually be thinking about that. How do we create new ways to access learning?
So what's next for you guys? Is there anything else you can share with us about what your plans are for the next 12 to 18 months? Is there anything else you can share?
Yeah, Neil, I made a reference to it a little bit. One of the big things that's exciting for Varsity Tutors right now is our international expansion. I think I shared last time we had bought a company in the UK, First Tutors, so that continues to perform well. But we're also expanding, and we've sold our tutoring services into over 30 countries at this point in time. So our international expansion is very healthy. Right now, that expertise is all being provided by the U.S.-based experts, but over time we expect to have experts in many, many different geographies around the world. And that, is, again, will just give a better learning experience for everyone. We're also starting to do work with classes and small groups, so not just one-on-one. And the analogy I like to use here is if you've ever tried to learn maybe a sport, let's say tennis, you can either get individual lessons by yourself, or you might do small group. And again, it's that making the access easier to more people, understanding not everyone wants to learn by themselves. Some people actually like to learn in small groups, and we're doing some work on that. We're also expanding the taxonomy or the subjects. Again, we have over 40,000 experts in our marketplace. So we've expanded into some of what we're calling professional certifications. So maybe the accounting certifications or the financial services certifications. We've started to provide expertise into that as well. So a lot of exciting things. And when you layer it on, the international, the different modality, whether it's one-on-one versus group, and the additional subjects, you can see we can have a huge impact and continue to have a huge impact on helping people learn.
Well, I'm sure your international expansion there is going to appeal to a lot of people listening all over the world. So what is the best way that they can find you online, or maybe just reach out and contact a member of your team after listening to our conversation today?
Yes, you can find us at varsitytutors.com. So varsitytutors.com. They'll access the website there. Of course, you can also find us on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and probably some other social medias that I can't remember off the top of my head now today, Neil. I'm getting too old for some of the newer stuff, but additional LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, we have a great presence there. And again, varsitytutors.com.
Excellent. Well, I'll add those links to the show notes just so people can find you nice and easily. And everything you've talked about today is a great tech story. But like I said earlier, it is teachers and tutors who educate and inspire us all. So listening to your international expansion, how you're going to be going into 30 different countries, it really opened my eyes up here, because traditionally teachers have only been able to teach in a local classroom that's near their home, but now they're going to actually be able to make a difference and help students worldwide, and that's got to be a fantastic thing. So a big thank you for coming back on the show today, Kevin.
Thank you, Neil. It's great to be back. Look forward to talking to you again, maybe in the new year.
One of the things I loved about what Kevin said here in today's episode is that there is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all approach. And that's not because a teacher is particularly bad at their job. It's that a teacher might not be best suited for a student based on their particular learning style. We all process information differently now, whether it be that you're more hands-on or you prefer listening or watching. And I think it's great that we're now using technology to treat students as unique individuals. And again, we're not losing sight here of the fact that it's teachers and tutors who educate and inspire each and every one of us. We just need to place the right teachers with the right students. So I wish Varsity Tutors the best of luck with their international expansion into 30 countries. And how cool is it that teachers that traditionally taught in a local classroom can now affect the lives of students worldwide? But enough of me getting on my soapbox. I'll pass the mic back over to you. Email me techblogwriter@outlook.com. Tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. Or pop by my website, techblogwriter.co.uk/podcast if you'd like to leave me a virtual voicemail or see what Kevin looks like. And follow some of those social channels that he was telling us about. And one other thing, before I go, a big thank you to City by the Bay. I hope is that Tony Bennett, do we think? Whoever they are, they've left a fantastic review on iTunes. They've just said, 5-star review, tons of great content and really interesting guests. So, City by the Bay, I thank you for leaving a review. I'm fighting the urge not to break into I left my heart in San Francisco. So I'm going to make my excuses and get out of here pretty quick. So please, if you leave a review, I'll read it out on the show. But if you don't, I'll see you here bright and early tomorrow with another great guest. So thanks for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.